Welcome to the 32081, a podcast where we cover life in the St. Johns County area.
I love being a part of such a great community.
If you're looking for the latest events, school information, local sports, restaurants, real estate news, and more, you've come to the right place. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
The show starts now with your hosts, The Hardy Party.
And welcome to this edition of the 32081. I'm Todd, and we are kicking things off, and I don't mean that as a pun, but we are, with high school football in the area. And just like last year, we're going to start all off with the man, the myth, the legend over at Nease High School, head coach Collin Drafts. Welcome to the show, Coach Drafts.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you guys having me.
Coach, let's go in reverse a little bit. We normally talk about the game first, but since we're coming into our first game now, I know there's probably a lot of people you want to thank, and that includes the Touchdown Club, Nancy McGinnis and her group, as well as the parents, because a lot of people don't realize that the parents and we're bringing in protein shakes and protein bars, and the Touchdown Club feeding the kids and making sure everything's organized. So I'm sure you just want to give them a shout out before we get started.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It takes an army really to feed and support a football program of our size. What they've been able to do really, since January when we started our work has been phenomenal. We reached out to the parents early on and said we want to put an emphasis in the weight room this offseason about getting bigger and stronger. And they met the challenge by shipping loads of protein, really throughout the year. And then you look at, the spring game and the green and gold game. And then this last week's game, you're talking about feeding over 100, kids and players every week with pregame meals. So, we could go on and on, but it really is a phenomenal support group that we have with the Touchdown Club and with the parents. So just, extremely thankful and grateful to be where I'm at.
We talked last year, Coach, I don't know if you remember, we talked a year ago about how just we wanted to pack the den. We wanted cars down US 1. We wanted people out there on Friday night. So I have to ask you, how was it coming into the preseason game last Friday night, and you walk into the stadium and you see the atmosphere there is? The Pantherettes are out there, the cheerleaders, the student section was packed to the brim. I mean, it was a phenomenal atmosphere, and I was wondering what your take on it was when you walked out there for the first time and saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. You talk about, being able to draw a crowd like that, for a preseason game. I don't even think they cared that it was a preseason game. In my opinion, I think we have the best atmosphere in all of Northeast Florida. So it was phenomenal. Looking forward to that happening next week and the week after that as well. It's pretty neat. We get to have 3 home games really to open up the year, but the atmosphere was great. The crowd was electric, and it was a fun atmosphere to be a part of for sure.
Now, talking about the game, I want to talk about one player in particular, and just so everyone knows, I didn't give these questions to Coach Drafts ahead of time, so he doesn't know I'm going to ask this. Right. But one player I want to ask you specifically about is Zach Cavoli, who everyone calls Butta. And in the third quarter, you could hear the students section. I don't know if you heard them down the field chanting, "We want Butta." Right. And I just want to point out, I want to ask your opinion, because it just seems like Zach is the epitome of school spirit. I mean, it doesn't matter where he is on the field. He's always supportive people. I've seen him in basketball games. I've seen him in football games. I mean, he just seems like just an awesome kid that supports the team 100%, and the kids love him.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you just said. Zach is a phenomenal kid. It's funny that, I did hear the chants. I had actually walked up to Zach a couple minutes before that and told him to start getting warmed up. And then for the crowd, the student section to be doing that as well was neat for him. He's a senior. He bleeds green and gold. He'll do anything for his teammates, anything to support the team. He does the same thing with the basketball team, crowd favorite. He's a great kid on and off the field, and he's a blessing to have in the program for sure.
Now, last year, let's get into the game now. Last year, more specifically, I should say, get into the game. One of the things you and I talked about when we talked about defense, there was one name you always mentioned, and that was Sterling Grimes, because you talked about he was the only returner. Now you look at the preseason game, and you've got some sophomores that are rising freshmen that are now sophomores that are helping out. But then you look at the line, and it looks like you're going to be able to expect a lot from like Noah Hellier, Mo Hackyard on the line. They're causing problems. Then you got Kate Papineau, Creel Cardle, Elijah Luckett, Kenan McClafferty just causing problems in the secondary. It seems like now this is a experienced defense that's going to be quite different from last year, and it seems like you've got to be happy with the play that you saw on Friday night from them as well.
No, I definitely am. It's night and day from last year. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Last year, everybody was was brand new. Sterling was the only starter. We had graduated 10 starters on the defense in a new system, but now here we are, a year later. It's year two of the new defense system. You bet you have everybody back but Sterling now. So essentially 9 or 10 starters and a lot of veteran guys that have played a lot of varsity football. Cade, Carril, and Elijah Luckett on the back end. You add Cannon McClafferty into that mix. And then the front seven, especially with guys like Noah Hellier, Morris Halyard, those guys that, again, started all of last year, took their licks, but that's part of just getting that varsity experience. So I'm expecting a lot out of that group this year. And so far they've met the challenge every step along the way, with the spring game and then team camps in the summer and now the Kickoff Classic. So they're poised for a great year.
And by the way, just let Mo know, I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name because I definitely don't want him coming after me. I know he can take me down
Absolutely,
there. So,
number 99.
Little typo there.
Right.
But on the offensive side, one of the players I just find, the only word I can use is to use as electrifying is Cam Smith. Last year he was with Sam Milton in the backfield. You had a dynamic duo now, and now you have Andrew Moses and Quinn Bradfield behind him as well. But Cam, against Menendez, he was 9 for 46 with an average of 9.5 on the run. He had a catch for 14 yards. He just seems to be one of the hardest runners I remember seeing in high school football.
Yeah, he had a great game on Friday. He's had a great offseason, great camp. He's a kid who's a rising senior, and again, did split time with Sam last year. Really did some good things last year, middle of the year when Sam got hurt. Cam started, I think he had 120, 130 yards rushing against Orange Park. And showed some flashes of how good he can really be. And so now coming in to this year, his last year, he really is the guy. So we didn't want to run him too much on Friday night, but moving forward, now that every game counts, just like I told him at the game, I was like, hey man, we're gonna ride you till the wheels fall off if we have to, and I know he's gonna beat that challenge head on. And it really, not only can, but it starts up front too. We've challenged our offensive line that, I tell them year in and year out, but especially this year, that we're going to go as they go. They set the tone with the physicality. We're going to establish the run, week in and week out, and then kind of branch out from there and do what we need to do offensively. But back to the original point, though, Cam Smith's a phenomenal player and looking for big things out of him this year for sure.
Now, on the wide receivers, this is interesting because you've got Nate Harry, a new quarterback, coming in on varsity that started for you on Friday night against Menendez. And when I sat back and I looked at the wide receivers that he has available to him, you've got Maddox Spencer, Emmanuel Williams, who got hurt in the green and gold, but Braden Felder stepped in for him as a rising sophomore and had a phenomenal game, in my opinion. Tyler Gazenfari, Fletcher Rest. The name goes on. And what was amazing to me is that, we had one or two long deep balls, but these receivers seem to make things happen after they catch the ball. The yards after the catch, to me, seem to be amazing, that they make it happen. They are a really fun group to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting group to keep your eye on. We go 4 or 5, even 6 deep right there with a lot of talent. Obviously, Maddox Spencer coming back. He was a leading receiver in all of North Florida last year, so expecting big things out of him in his junior year. You've got Emmanuel Williams, obviously, who's going to be coming back not too far from now from injury. Fletcher Reston, Tyler Gazenfari, like you said, and then the newcomer, Braden Felder, who I think has a ton of talent, ton of potential, stepped up in Emmanuel's absence right now. So that group has done really well. Looking forward to big things for them. And, we're going to spread the ball around and see what those guys can do in space. But you're right. They had a great game on Friday and did a really good job with the yards after the catch for sure.
And then also one thing I wanted to cover for those that were at the game and probably didn't know what was happening, but in the fourth quarter, you had your JV Gold team come in, which, I kind of want to ask you about them because a lot of these kids were freshmen last year, and a lot of people were watching. They had a very successful year under Coach Pfeiffer. And in watching this, it looks like, you always preached about those kids playing together and getting the trust. And I went back and watched, of course, Derek Hardy, he connected with 3 different receivers with Jordan Christopher, Nate Sievert, and Matt Jacobs. Matt Jacobs had a fantastic night running the ball as a sophomore. The blocking on scrambles was phenomenal. You've got to be really excited with what you have in the pipeline with your JV team and your rising sophomores and for the years to come.
No, you're absolutely right. It was neat for them, too, that we were able to have that JV fourth quarter, and those guys were able to play in that atmosphere. I mean, that was Friday Night Lights, as big of a crowd as you're going to get. So it's really neat for them to have that experience, and you're exactly right. I mean, the majority of those guys were all sophomores, played freshman football last year. They've played together. They've got great chemistry. And it was fun to watch them go out there and just and make some plays. I thought the defense played extremely well. Really shut Menendez down the whole time they were on the field. The offense had some good drives with the ball being spread around and guys making plays. So I'm excited for them. The future of the program is definitely bright. Looking forward to, they have a full 8-game season this year, which starts Thursday night at Andrew Jackson. So I told them last week, when we come back this week, they're kind of setting the tone first and going to get that first action on Thursday night downtown Jacksonville. So looking forward to what they can put together this year as well.
See, Coach, we don't even talk before we do this, and you lead me right in my next question with Andrew Jackson. So
right.
Your JV Gold team goes and plays Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson we kicked off with last year. It was a 30-10 loss.
Right.
But they're coming. It's going to be a cat fight. We got Tigers against Panthers in the Den this Friday night at 7:00. My question is, last year, I think it's pronounced Jonathan Jackson rushed for 134 yards, and they also had 250 yards in the passing category last year. We've talked about the defense really being different this year, the electrifying offensive weapons you have. What are your keys to victory going into this Friday night against this Andrew Jackson team and getting some retribution from last year?
Yeah, first and foremost, we're just going to have to stop the big play. They had too many big plays on us last year, and that was a hats off to them. They're a really well-coached team last year, some talented players, and got the best of us. So we've got to kind of bottle them up, keep them in front of us, and make them earn, every yard and every point they might get. And number two, we just have to be efficient and patient on offense and not turn the ball over. Those are really the issues that kind of got the best of us last year. So hopefully we can learn from, the mistakes that we made, in the preseason game and chip away at those and just be clean and efficient and try to win all three phases, offensively, defensively, and special teams. We've got them at home again. I know they're going to be a talented football team, but we are as well, and we're going to be prepared, and we're just going to be excited for the opportunity.
All right, Coach. Well, hope all of the areas out there, Pine Island, PVA, VRA, all you middle schools, get out there, support the Panthers, all you high school fans, and all you football fans, because it's going to be a great time. It's going to be at Nease High School with a 7:00 kickoff. And, Coach, we wish you and the Panthers the best this Friday night.
Awesome. We appreciate it.
And we look forward to seeing you out at the Den this Friday night for kickoff at 7:00 against the Jackson Tigers. Let's pack the Den and show our Panther pride. We'll see you next time right here on the 32081.
Thank you for listening to the 32081. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Please don't forget to subscribe to the show so you can join us for the next episode.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
Until next time, take care.